How's everybody?
Oh, good. How about you?
Good.
Just happy to be here, Judge. Happy to be here.
That's always a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I was referring to being on the planet, still on the planet.
Wow. I took it to mean that you were happy to be here with me. So that's,
Well, that's true too, Judge. I mean, if I weren't, it'd be the alternative wouldn't be very good.
Phil, isn't that what you understood it as, Phil? Was that he was happy to be here with you?
Yes, sir, it is. And it's always interesting to listen to a politician try to tap dance around that. Happy Monday, Mike.
Thanks, Phil. I'm taking lessons from the Democrats.
Oh, Mike. Don't go there.
Well, they talk in circles.
All right, we still got a couple of minutes before we crank up. Let's see. We're missing Cindy on here.
Yes.
And Matt, for that matter.
He went up, log in here shortly.
I invited Kerry to be on the call as well. He said he'd
I'm good.
probably be on from his truck.
There's Matt. Hey, Megan and Tron, can I holler at Cindy, please? Okay.
I just got off the phone with her, Judge.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Is my mic working now?
Yes.
Yes.
Perfect. Thank you.
Are you on?
Cindy.
Oh, Kerry. Kerry is on in his truck. Hey, Cindy.
Good morning.
Morning, Kerry.
Good morning.
Okay, I've got 9 a.m. We'll go ahead and start with special called meeting for Commissioners Court. This meeting was called in accordance with the Open Meetings Act. Jennifer, do we have anybody sign up for public comment?
No, sir, we do not.
Okay. No one signed up for public comment. Let's do a roll call real quick, starting with Commissioner Jones.
Yeah, Commissioner Jones, Precinct 1 online.
Linda Rashke, Precinct 2, present.
Mike Sandoval, Precinct 3.
Don Moss, Precinct 4, present.
Okay, we've got one discussion action item. Peter, do you want to read it or do you want me to?
No, I'll read it if you like. Go ahead and go through this. Okay, this is the item. It's discussion on action. It's a preamble first from a point of view of the ability to deal with this. It's the local government code, section 262.0241 is applicable as there is a tremendous public concern over election security and the COVID public health crisis and the necessity to relieve the distress of the citizens in this regard. Section 262.024 bracket 2 may also be applicable because of the current and future need to protect the public's health when they vote. Visit the elections department auditor's office and or the Human Resources Department. Thus, it is in our opinion that the court may issue an order granting exemption pursuant to Local Government Code 262.024A1 and so that the purchase may be conducted without going through the competitive bid process. And the issue is to approve an agreement with Northland Business for improved broadband business internet at the Llano County Highway 71 Annex, 1447 Highway 71, Llano, Texas, 78643. Just to describe this, the intent, and I'll go into how we come up with this. The intent is to establish a faster, more efficient broadband service at the 71 Annex, and particularly due to the election requirements that we are there. They have very slow broadband right now. Cindy, I think it's like 5 up and 3 down or 2 down or something like that. And so the IT committee have met to try and see if there's an option to this. Cindy has researched it, come up with an option that the IT committee deems viable. And you have a copy of that bid from Northland Business in your package. Now, prior to being able to put this on the agenda, we did seek legal counsel. And from Becky, Lang, and Matt, that preamble that you just couldn't read is, in fact, giving the legal counsel opinion, giving justification for this contract to be entered into without going through a competitive bid process. So maybe Matt, you want to talk to that first before we go into the actual?
Certainly, Commissioner. We researched the competitive bid process under local government code, and there is an exemption. We have come to the opinion that exemption under 262.0241 and 1 is probably the most applicable. 2, the second exemption also kicks in. We have an extreme, we received, according to my information, the Secretary of State did a security survey of our election office and found some gaps in security. That is the primary concern. That is a technical situation that cannot be fixed quickly enough through the competitive bid process. We have a national election coming up fast. As I point out in my memo to, or from Becky to Cindy, early voting starts in less than 27 days. Under the competitive bid process, you have to post the bid, you have to allow everyone, you know, it's going to take at least 30 days for the bids to come in and to be analyzed. With early voting starting in 27 days, we cannot wait to get bids in to evaluate the best bid. So we need to do that for security alone. As we all know, this election and the last few elections, there have been, the public has been quite concerned and distressed, to use the word in the statute, about the security of our elections. It is a primary function of government to provide free and fair elections to the public, and the public demands that we do that. So to alleviate the distress that is evident in the public, it's my opinion that that exemption 1 is most applicable. The third thing that's blown up is the distress the public is feeling from COVID. There is a lot of angst in our society already due to that. One more thing on top of that, that being a compromised election because of security gaps, would continue that angst and distress that they're feeling. So I think we need to, that exemption applies. The next problem or the other issue is that the same building that houses our election department, where the cable is coming in, handles our auditor's office. Our auditor's office is there, as well as our HR office. We are trying to limit the amount of time that people are engaged with those offices, not just the election office. And if we have a insecure internet, we may have to bring them up, bring the same individuals back to or to get better information from them. So it's once again, that relieves their distress. The exemption speaks to the word calamity. Merriam-Webster defines calamity to be a disastrous event marked by great loss and lasting distress and suffering. So the exemption speaks of a public calamity. I believe we are on firm ground by agreeing through your vote that this exemption applies, since there is a public calamity currently in place. We are operating under emergency declarations, emergency orders. At any given moment, we can go back to having to shut down operations to the degree that public can only have access to governmental functions through the internet. So we need to have a secure internet for our annex. So are there any questions?
Yeah, why today?
Well, let me answer that. I kind of pushed this to be
Yeah.
today because the contract with Northland Business, it takes them 30 days to install. And we won't be able to get the internet speed installed prior to early voting, but we would, if we do it now, get it installed prior to election day. So time is of the essence to try and get this thing in place by election day. So, we delayed it another week, would be up against timing to try and do that. So today, and calling the judge, trying to say we need to get this decision made moving forward to make sure this is in place for election day.
And
Purpose.
I think we need to point out also that this is not something that the county has been sitting on and all of a sudden said, hey, oh yeah, we got to do this now. This is something that was brought about to Cindy Ware, and she brought it to the IT committee's attention. And between the IT committee working with Cindy doing her due diligence to try and see what we could do in the most expeditious manner, this is what we came up with.
Cindy, you want to talk to that, your process that you went through?
The timing seems odd to me, that's all.
Well,
we did get other quotes. The quote we got from Frontier also would take a minimum of 30 days for them to even start the process. For the same type of service that we're being offered here, their monthly fee would have been $799 a month. And then we did get a quote from a contractor that is on the DIR contract, and their total cost was $171,490. So with finances in consideration and this prospect of being able to use grant funds for the down payment to get it rolling, we thought this was the best idea going forward.
What's the total?
Frontier has a problem too. Did you not say that they're declaring bankruptcy or something? Is that what you heard?
That's what I understand. It's hard to get feedback from them in a timely manner. I can't verify that. That's just a rumor that I've heard, that they're in financial problems.
Well, my concern is I have Northland at my house, and up until about 30 days ago, we really had great service, but it hasn't been that great over the last 30 days. So I'm concerned about that as well.
This contract we got here with Northland it says there's a $25,000 and then $400 a month. Is that correct?
Correct.
You want to talk to the funding on that, Cindy? How do we pay for this?
Well, the upfront funds will be paid for with the grant, the security grant, election security grant. And then the monthly fee would be just paid just the same way we are the library and the county on a monthly contract.
I think we're paying, what, $75 a month now for the poor service that you have, so that will go away, offset by the 400, right?
Part of it, yes.
Okay,
What did you just say? We're paying what?
75 a month. This goes to
Well,
400.
But we also have the air fiber. That is our backup system. We would maintain the air fiber as a backup to this, I believe. Maybe Carrie can answer to that, but
And while he's talking, what is, there's no way you can rush it and get it done before the early voting?
that's what we're trying to do. Larson at Northland has said he's going to do everything he can to push it forward to get it done before 30 days. But, you know, they have issues too. They have other things in the pipeline. They've still got to deal with all the hurricanes and whatnot at the coast right now, so.
Carrie, you want to talk to the air fiber issue, et cetera? Are you on the line?
Who is Kerry? Who are you?
This is Kerry. He's a Biz Pro Tech. He's our Biz Pro Tech
Okay.
provider.
I do. I'm Kerry Hancock. We've been working on the wireless connection from the Highway 71 to downtown. It's been down multiple times due to lightning, I do believe. So I think we're on our third set of radios inside of 6 months. So we do have a problem there keeping it up. It'll make a sufficient backup connection, but it hasn't been very reliable for a primary connection. So I think this should resolve a lot of that as well.
And Kerry, this is fiber optic wired connection, correct?
Yeah,
It
fiber
gives us,
optic to build.
gives us 100 up and 100 down speed, which is up from, what is it now, 5 or?
I believe 5 down and I think like 1.5 up is pretty low. And according to them, that's the fastest service they can deliver by that connection.
Right. So this is way more reliable. Now, you also said, I think, and you read in the contract, this extends also to the courthouse. Is that correct?
Yes, we would, or you would get an upgrade to the main connection, which is Northland at the courthouse. For the rest of the county, it would be upgraded to 100 by 100 as well for the same cost.
Good. Okay. Any other questions from folks?
Yes, in this contract, this is for 3 years.
Yes.
Right. And then what happens? You just renew it for the same 400 a month? Is that?
I can increase it after 3 years.
Yeah. Cindy?
But there's.
I'm guessing it'll be a little bit less because the cost of the build-in is in the monthly fee.
After the 3 years.
Yes. But
Because I think they initially quoted like $600-700 a month, but no 25,000 up front. But because we have security grants, then we can utilize that to reduce the monthly. And that may even reduce it further, right?
Cindy, what about, I know that this is, we can do this because of what the statutes that Matt read to us, but what about our purchasing policy and things? Where does it go in with that?
Well, our policy is in compliance with the state statute. So if we follow the state statute, we're following our policy.
Okay. I just wanted to hear you say that.
Yeah, me too.
Well, I think, Cindy, we don't have any, the IT committee reviewed this. It appears we do not have any other viable options that make any sense. Like $172,000 was rejected right away. And the manner in which we can get quotes and opportunity to install is be limited. I think this is the only one that came out as being viable.
Correct.
So,
Especially for the level of service that we're getting.
right.
And it's going to be applied countywide without any other increase in fees.
Well, also the reliability, I know Linda commented on it, but the reliability that we have right now is not good. I mean, I don't know how else to say it. They're up and down. I don't know how many, probably an average of how many times would you say, Carrie or Clay? What would the average be that they're down?
For a while
Seems
there,
always
they
to
were
hit at payroll time.
yeah, down every week for a little bit. During stormy season, it seems to be worse, of course, but the line of sight connection is, and of course, sticking the radio up on top of the tower is the issue with lightning. It tends to want to get it and drive it crazy during storms, so.
They're down at that building once a week?
Correct.
For a while there, yeah.
Oh, wow.
And we had, I think, one time a 3-day outage before we could get new radios in there and get them installed.
Cindy, you want to talk the budgeting for the 400 a month? That's building a maintenance budget?
Correct. It's building and maintenance budget.
And we've got,
We may have to make an adjustment later in the year, but we usually do every year anyway. Between utilities and whatnot, we usually have enough in there to cover, but we may have to make an adjustment later on. But for the first couple months, we can use the monthly payment out of the grant.
okay.
Here, can I insert something, please? Here at the East Annex, which is further away than the Highway 71 Annex is, we get a 93.9 upload speed and we get a 91.4 download speed. I just ran the speed test here. I mean,
Good.
it's like instantaneous here at the East Annex.
Good. Carrie,
And y'all have Northern Cable?
No,
I'm sorry,
Mr.
what?
Sandoval?
Frontier out there.
I
no,
ran
we
it
do
on
not
the
have
Frontier.
Northland.
I ran it on it's Frontier, but I used AT&T's speed test. It's the
Okay.
same.
Any of
I
that
mean,
means anyways.
91.4 on the download, 93.9 on the upload. And before
good.
Okay.
we weren't even close to that before.
Carrie, when you said countywide, are you talking this applies to 71 Annex and the courthouse, or is it more than that?
I do believe it's just the courthouse. That is the only other Northland connection, I do believe, for the county.
Okay. Anyway, that's the status of it. As far as unless there's any other questions, we reviewed this in quite detail and come up with this as the resolve, and trying to get some urgency to get this in place, particularly for the election coming up, and benefits many other departments. So if there is no other questions, I'll make a motion. And motion is then to approve an agreement with Northland Business for improved broadband business internet service at the Llano County Highway 71 Annex of 1447 Highway 71, Llano, Texas.
I'll second.
Can I interject before you vote?
Sure.
I think first, you have to, under the statute, you're going to have to vote on
If it's,
granting the exemption under 262.0241 and then first vote on that, then move to the Northland contract.
Okay, so can we put that vote on hold for the Northland contract for the moment, and then put a motion together for the other one? Is that appropriate?
That's what I would suggest.
Okay.
so you're saying we need a motion for exemption to Government Code 262?
Yes, sir.
No. that wouldn't be-
Fixing to recommend that, Matt?
Can you read it again, Matt?
I'll read it, order.
Oh.
Motion.
It's right here, right? This is it right here?
Yes,
Okay.
it's going to be the second sentence in your,
In the discussion action, if you read down about 8 lines, it says, thus, it is our opinion. That's where the motion needs to start.
Okay, I'll make the motion then. Motion is to accept the legal counsel opinion that the court may issue an order granting the exemption pursuant to local government code 262.024, bracket A, bracket 1, and bracket 2, so that the purchase may be conducted without going through the competitive bid process. That's a motion.
I'll second.
Okay.
That cover it, Matt?
yes, sir.
So we got a motion and a second on the order granting the exemption. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Ayes have it, motion carries. Now we return to Commissioner Jones' first motion.
I can repeat the motion.
Would you please?
And it's to approve agreement with Northland Business for improved broadband business internet service at Llano County Highway 71 Annex at 1447 Highway 71, Llano, Texas.
I'll second.
We got a motion and a second. Do you have any further discussion? Being none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it, motion carries. I want to thank Peter for working with, and Clay and Carrie and Cindy for working on this. This has been an ongoing, I wouldn't say struggle, but an ongoing issue that they've been working through, and this, we're grateful for all of them for getting it done. And Cindy Ware also for her efforts. I know I don't know if she's still on here, but she's been jumping through hoops with the Secretary of State, coming out with different things, different days, and she's certainly earning her pay. With that being said, if no one else has anything, this will conclude Commissioners Court for the special called meeting.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Cindy. Thank you,
All right.
Judge.
See ya.
Aye.
Thank you all.
Aye.